la famille donne des spectacles dans le monde entier. Sam Brown devient leur directeur musical au milieu des années 70.
Funny story, the first time I went out to the house, Michael always liked animals. And they had this macaw in the house, which I didn't know of. So I get, I buzz in and the gates open up and I go up this long driveway, drive up this long driveway. And I get out of my car and I go to the back door and I knock on the door. And I hear this voice say, "Who is it?" And I say, "This is Sam Brown. I'm here to see Joe and Michael." No response. So I knock again. "Who is it?" "Sam Brown. I'm here to see Joseph and Michael. You just buzzed me in." No response. Knock on the door again. "Who is it?" Well, it was the bird. And they were around the corner having a laugh. Michael and Jermaine and Jackie and Marlene were around the corner holding their noses to keep from laughing out loud.
The closeness of family, it gives you ability to know each other's voices 24/7, know who's going to do what. Any song you're singing, you're able to sing in harmony if you want to. Versus a group that's put together, a family group, they're more at ease on stage, number one, they're more at ease at rehearsal. There's no ego.
Now tell me, what do you think is the success of the Jacksons, yourself and the Jacksons?
I would say probably togetherness or just enjoying our work a lot. Putting a lot of love into it, all our effort.
Où qu'ils aillent, les Jackson sont accueillis par un public frénétique qui les suit avec acharnement.
When we were in Caracas, Venezuela, and we were playing a soccer stadium that held 60,000 people, and we were downstairs in the dressing rooms, and the walls are concrete, with this lime green paint on the walls. All of a sudden, we heard this, oh, 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 oh. And it was a sound of the entire stadium stomping their feet because the opening act was finished and there was an intermission and they wanted the Jacksons to come out, and it was scary. As we walked up the ramp, the closer we got, and you could hear the announcer, in Spanish, and saying, "Tito, Jermaine, Jackie." And then we were at the ramp, and Bill Bray was in front, who was their head bodyguard, security, and the band and I are back there, and he says, "The Jackson 5," and it was this huge roar from the crowd and screaming, and it was unbelievable.
Because I love it. You have to like it to be in it this long.
Yeah.
Or you go crazy. It's so much. We've been traveling the world and making records and just having a great time.
Michael travaille toujours plus dur que ses frères. Rien ne pourrait le distraire. Son seul point faible, les parcs d'attractions.
The boys, Jermaine, Jackie, Marlon, Tito, used to like to play basketball with the band members. They had a little basketball court. And Michael was always about working. It was time to work, Michael wanted to work. And he would often come to me and he'd say, "Sam, would you tell the boys to come on, let's go?" So then I'd have to go outside and say, "Okay, guys, let's wrap it up." And of course they're going, "Okay, we just got 5 more minutes. We're almost through with this game." I was like, Michael wants to get started, guys, let's go. So Michael he didn't want to tell his brothers what to do because he was like almost the youngest. So he'd have me do it. Michael loves amusement parks. I think that goes without saying. Everybody knows that by now. And Michael would always ask if there was an amusement park nearby because he'd want to go. So we were in Caracas, One morning, there's a knock on my door, and it's Bill Bray, who is head of security. And he says, Michael wants to go to this amusement park, and nobody else wants to go. Everybody's sleeping, and they don't want to go. And Michael said to ask you, he said, you might want to go because you like amusement parks, and I do. And I said, sure, I'll go with you guys. So it was the three of us. So we traipsed off to this little amusement park with rides, and they had literally opened it up early so Michael could go in there and not be bothered. So I took some pictures of Michael on this kind of Ferris wheel kind of ride with Bill sitting next to him, and I was in the front car.
Bien qu'il fasse encore partie du groupe familial, les ambitions de carrière solo de Michael dépassent bientôt le cadre des Jacksons.
His star would have shined anyway, ultimately. But remember, it was the Jackson 5 at first, and he came out of that situation because he literally distinguished himself.
It all starts with the record, Michael once told me. Everything, and he, pointed around and he said, Billy, this all starts with the record, so we gotta make this.
En 1979, à 20 ans, Michael enregistre Off the Wall, son premier album solo pour Epic. Ses fans découvrent un nouveau Michael, plus mûr, avec une voix plus profonde et des morceaux plus risqués. Off the Wall se vend à 12 millions d'exemplaires dans le monde. Ce disque annonce au monde entier la naissance de Michael Jackson, artiste solo. Il écrit désormais d'extraordinaires chansons.
Best one is definitely Billie Jean.
Heartbreak Hotel.
Black or white?
It has to be I Wanna Rock With You. That's so. Of course I like I'll Be There. That's like my guy to girl song.
Smooth Criminal.
Heal the World, which was, of course, has become an anthem of songs.
Thriller.
Man in the Mirror.
Off the Wall marque le début d'une collaboration essentielle avec le producteur Quincy Jones. Quincy produit aussi Thriller, Bad et a une influence totale sur le style d'écriture musicale de Michael.
Basically, every album, including a good part of Thriller, was done in our studio.
Michael a un style personnel et unique, et il l'exprime dans ses chansons.
One of the things that he would sometimes do is he would record the demo for the song using only sounds that he would sing. He would beatbox the rhythm on track 1, and then he would go to track 2 and sing the bass line.
He, through all these years, he has worked with musicians necessarily because he doesn't play an instrument. And he's written entire records in his head and had to convey those to musicians. And he has a way of expressing a beat and a melody and a sound with just his body and his voice.
He would then musically sing the horn, the guitar, the strings. He would sing all the instrumentation because he would have all of the ideas in his head. He would know the arrangement. It was just a matter of getting all of these ideas onto tape. And then once they were onto tape, and then the individual musicians would come in to do their overdubs, they could not only hear what their part would be, but they could hear, in a bigger sense, what the entire arrangement would be. After Michael would sing the individual musical elements, he would then sing his vocal arrangement over the top of that. This was a process that I would often do with Michael. And when the musician would come in, he would not only be able to hear what his part was, but he would be able to hear the song as a whole.